CamTESOL, and thank you for giving me the honour of the opening speech to the 18th Annual CamTESOL Conference. Before I begin my remarks, I would like to acknowledge His Excellency Dr. Hung-Chon Naron, Minister for Education, Youth and Sport, Her Excellency Tina Redshaw, British Ambassador to Cambodia, His Excellency Patrick Murphy, United States Ambassador to Cambodia, and Mr. Mao Sreng, IDP Education Country Director and CamTESOL Convener. I extend my welcome to the delegates participating in this conference from more than 30 countries around the world, and I'm glad to see there are 20 Australian institutions participating. This year's conference theme of changing approaches and expanding dimensions in global English language training is certainly appropriate for the changing times that we live in. Many described 2020 as a year of challenges and 2021 as a year of continued challenges. So how should we collectively define 2022? There will, of course, be plenty of challenges in 2022. Omicron and no doubt newer variants have assured us of this. However, our destiny is not wedded to 2020 or to 2021, especially in the international education sector. As countries cautiously consider their reopening and as border restrictions slowly begin to lift, now is the perfect time to take stock of changing approaches and expanding dimensions. It's also very timely for Australia, where we made the decision to start welcoming international students back to our shores again from late last year. After such a world and industry-changing event like COVID-19, we now have the opportunity to question what worked, what didn't work, what we missed, and what we didn't miss. This is your chance to reimagine, test, and adopt new language teaching approaches for a new education future. I hope that this new education future is bright. However, while we should always remain optimistic in our outlook, we should also consider lessons learned from tougher times when planning for the future. The potential threat of new COVID-19 variants of concern will likely hang over the world for years to come. Therefore, there is merit in ensuring that ways of learning are designed not only to cater to student flexibility, but also to respond in times of crisis. During the pandemic, schools and education institutions around the world, including in Cambodia and in Australia, made the remarkable shift to online and remote learning. This shift was possible due to the creative and adaptive use of technology and the internet. However, this shift was not always smooth. There's no point pretending online learning was 100% effective and is the way of the future. While for some, online learning provided the flexibility they needed to unlock success, I would say for the majority it became yet another barrier for them in reaching their education goals. Now, don't get me wrong, no doubt some online practices applied during the pandemic will become the normal way of learning in the future, and education is a constantly evolving process of adapting to new digital technologies. But of course, there is no complete substitute for face-to-face classroom interaction, and we can learn to do better there as well. There was the added challenge of hybrid learning environments. For example, as schools reopened, some students were hesitant to return to the classroom. We had the new challenge of teachers having to teach in person and online at the same time. No easy feat. Now, as many educational institutions consider or are making the shift back to in-person lessons, this is the right time to reflect. While a great amount of uncertainty remains, educators, as leaders, have a responsibility to impart their confidence to their students. Educators can build their confidence in addressing great change by sharing their experiences and expertise through conferences such as CamTESOL. By reflecting on lessons learned and building the capacity of educators, new teaching methods and strategies discovered during the pandemic can be sustainably integrated into educational practices in the future. Despite there being so much talk of change and uncertainty, I see three big certainties for participants of this conference. The first certainty is that English remains the language of international commerce and business, the official languages of ASEAN and APEC, and the preferred language of international communication, the media and the internet, with 1/4 of all information posted online in English. That's the most popular language by some distance, more than Spanish, Arabic, French, German, Russian and Japanese combined. So giving students the opportunity to speak the English language still allows them to compete more effectively with their peers around the world and gain greater access to new ideas and innovations in the global marketplace. Now, the second certainty is that COVID-19 has normalised remote work. As businesses increasingly hire across borders, English will play a key role in enabling this cross-border work. Those that speak and teach English will benefit from this. The third certainty is that future students will live in an increasingly digital world. As educators, you play a key role in equipping the next generation of students with the skills needed for this digital world. Therefore, the efforts made to digitise learning during the COVID-19 pandemic are not fruitless in the future. With these certainties in mind, I hope you take the opportunity during this conference to develop new skills and to build your confidence with new, innovative methods of teaching. I would like to thank my friend Mr. Mao Sring and IDP Education Cambodia for hosting CamTESOL. It's one of the largest and most prestigious conferences of its kind, and it plays a leading role in supporting English language training here in Cambodia. In closing, I'd like to thank the delegates attending the 18th CamTESOL conference. I wish you all a rewarding and enjoyable conference and encourage you to make the most of the next few days. Samokun, thank you.